All right, let's get going. Welcome everybody to the MOTT uh, Zoom call. We have this meeting regularly every 2 to 3 weeks so people can ask questions. What I'm going to do today is give a little introduction to MOTT because um, I am told I don't do Facebook a lot. Melissa's on there, but there are a couple Facebook groups where service has come up, and the discussions went by way of I'm having trouble getting service in my area. I get bad service here. Why can't Handi Quilter do service like MK Quilts? Who is MK Quilts? Oh, they got a MOTT program. And there's just these long threads, and it's both users and retailers. So what I want to do today is actually give a quick summary for the first 5, 10 minutes here and things before we get into talking the tech. And we do have lots of tech to talk about here to answer questions, and I will definitely fill the hour. But I wanted to take the opportunity to put this content out there on YouTube. Normally, this Q&A session is only for our machine owner technician training members, which is a community of people that are paying a quarterly or yearly membership, almost like a service contract, so that we can provide these services, this extra training and such. So I'm going to quick get in and share my window, my browser here, because I think it's the best way to sort of introduce you to what we are doing here. So if you will give me a moment. All right, so everybody should be seeing my browser window here. Um, I will try and resize it just a little bit. I think that's going to give you the best view. All right, so MK Quilts. This is Melissa and My's shop. About 8 years now, I've been working for Melissa. I'm the chief of everything else, everything she doesn't want to do. So, as part of that, we clearly have a shop here locally in Florida, but we sell machines nationally. Okay. And the deal with Handi Quilter was if you want to sell machines across the country, you just need to be able to support them. So since I've been an IT nerd and a technical support person for years through my whole career, I took it upon myself to build a support organization. So as you can see here, there's a click button for support. You can get to it through a support button through a bunch of different pages, but I do challenge you to check out other retailers, other online stores and find their support link. It's sort of frustrating. You always talk to a salesperson. It's very hard to talk to somebody in support. So we have a support page. I call it an exceptional support site because I don't see a lot of other people going through this extra effort. Okay. So some of the things we do differently, Handi Quilter endorses us, they support us, but we do things a little better, differently than they do, including we like to do video technical calls on phone. So instead of waiting for somebody to drive out, 9 out of 10 times, if I can get you on your video phone or your tablet and see what's going on, I can do a remote troubleshooting or one of my staff. I'll introduce you to at least Adam and things. But the idea being we need to use these advanced tools to bridge the distances and the issues. Now, one other value added thing is for those Pro Stitcher users, especially who aren't computer people, which is most of the quilters out there, I pay for this Splashtop agent, which is a remote support tool. Warning, don't ever give a person access to your computer that you don't personally know through calling them or whatever. I don't care if it's the IRS or they say you won a lawsuit and they can get you $400. My mother almost lost $160,000. She just sold her house, and boy, it came close to losing that money. So please know who you're doing this with. But the benefit to this tool is I can now get onto your tablet or on your laptop and actually help do some of the computer stuff like upgrading your software. Sometimes it's just that hopefully you don't have a virus or anything, but computer related stuff. And that's sort of a value add we give to people. So you don't have to be a technical whiz as well. When we talk about some of these tools, take the time to look at some of the videos I prepared because a little explanation about how to do it on your phone. It's worth 10 minutes to me to get somebody to be able to do a Google Meet session with me because often it's like, yeah, you need to hit that power switch. I hate to say it. Sometimes it's just a lot easier to see what's going on. And I'll be honest, some customers, when you ask them to push a button, they push a button and another button and another button. And it's just like, it's very hard to troubleshoot when you're not there. So we provide those services. The most important thing here is we have some PDF guides that you can download. They've got checklists. They will solve 95% of the average user's problems. The last step is usually the most expensive one, like doing timing and changing your hook and basket, but it's in there and you can always call us for support. All right, we've got our charges and things. We have to obviously keep the lights on. Uh, you can read through this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but here's the live technical support. Now, our owners, our machine owners, we always encourage our machine owners, people who spent big money with us, don't call Handi Quilter, call us first. We'll take calls on holidays and things. We're open a lot more often than Handi Quilter support to begin with. Um, Another thing you can do, I think I only allow it about 12, 14 hours out, but you can come on here and you can book yourself time, an hour, hour and a half, 30 minutes on my calendar, and I will call you. Okay. You can see here Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, I'm not available. Well, we're installing an Infinity and taking the machine back, and I'm going to be on the road, and I want to be out there with my technician giving him a hand since there's a lot of hauling and things. Um, Adam is my technician here on site. He will be fielding a lot of the calls and things. We both monitor our inbox, which just sending a support at mkquilts.com is going to put you in a queue automatically. If you leave a message on our phone line, it'll put you in the same queue, transcribe it. We can be on the road. We can see what's going on. So all these things have been set up to ensure that you get support. Okay. Now, for people that don't want to do their own support, their own cleaning and things, we have a big link here. We keep a list of people looking for support to clean their machines, lube them, do the basics, which should happen about every 2 years for the average user. But then we have a couple other programs here, and I wanted to explain that real quick. You'll hear us use the term ESP, our Exceptional Service Program. We implemented that because, quite honestly, right now, everyone's selling the machines at the bare minimum price. The economy and everything else has been down there. Now, if you're an expert long armor and you don't need a lot of training or support, we can sell a machine like that. But what we encourage new people to do is to add on our support package there, which is not cheap, but it gets you 2 years on our university. It gets you priority calls. It's the idea of we need to make enough margin that we can keep our fancy university online and things. And I'll introduce you to the university. Okay. The thing everybody's here for and looking at this is probably the fact that they need somebody to help them work with their um, servicing their machine. And either they don't have a trusted service tech nearby. That's the main thing. If you do have someone you don't trust them, that's no good either. So we're here as the Machine Owner Technician Training Program. And please take the time, if you're not currently enrolled, to read through the different advantages here. I'm not going to go through it all. Right now, this call being recorded is our live event, which I try and have every 2 to 3 weeks. That's a lube kit. That's the official lubes. If your technician has ever come in and not used the different greases and lubes and just shot oil around your machine, that can actually be to the detriment of the machine because I'm not the scientist, but these are very important to use the right lubrication on your machine. The lubrication you put in your hook and basket area between every bobbin should be bobbin oil from Handi Quilter and not some Supertech sewing oil. It is not of the right makeup and your hook and basket will wear out faster. I've had several customers do that and we've detected that. So, all right, so let's assume you have gotten into the okay. Yes, we have an online store. You can buy even parts and timing kits and everything through our store. We're not here to talk about that, but we have been a top salesperson. We did get it for 2024 as well. Um, but this is our university when we start talking about premium membership. Um, that is for how to use the long arm. And this is my wife, Melissa, shop owner Ellen, and Sammy, rest his peace. As you can tell, he's up there on the desk behind me. But he was our mascot and security chief, and he passed last October. So I still got him around in many of the videos. You will see him there. All right, so this just shows you the university. It's an online platform. When you log in and you go to your dashboard, you get your dashboard down here. Now, I have a lot of the all of the training available to me. So I'm just going to click on technical and you can see how it filters out the technical training. The one thing it does also do, unfortunately, is it filters out the technical forum. Okay. The technical forum is like a little Facebook group for Q&A. I like to put all my recent technical experiences. For those of you who are on the call, obviously came here to the event, you clicked on it, and then you clicked on the link, and that's how you get on these internal calls. Okay, very simple and straightforward. You can always work with me early. I get on usually half an hour early. We can solve some problems. Hi, Don. Um, we have some new members on today, but I encourage you to reach out and always remember the support at mkquilts.com if you need to. I am running very fast because nobody likes to listen to me just babble, but there is a lot of information in here, and I want to point out that none of this you have to do. Okay. You can come in, sign up for the course, and simply go to, I'm going to hit technical here because I've got it all. If you go down and you choose the TechMot Training Owners course, this is what was my original plan is to walk you through the basics. Like the first thing, download your manual. Handi Quilter has allowed me to share the manual behind this paywall as long as it doesn't start showing up out on the internet. Okay, so if you need it, it's there. You can see that we go through, we've got a lot of different things from opening your machines. There's some cautions, there's some tricks for all different types. I won't go through all the videos. Um, some timing, cleaning, replacing take-up springs, internal fix, and um, the servicing section has a lot of videos. Basically, coming up, you saw on March 8th, I'm having another community cleaning session where people can do their work on their machines on a Zoom call. So if they have questions, and what I did during this 2.5 hour session last year was I ended up talking about a lot of things to fill time, and all that information is down here as well. You know, you might not have infinity. Um, Go ahead and take yourself off. But there's a lot of videos and things that cut it up. So you can get your value out of simply going through the MOTT training course. So that's all I wanted to do. I'm going to post this to YouTube. I know it's a lot of information here. I want to get to the people's questions and answers today. Let me take this off share here. All right, I am back. Okay, so I hope that's helpful to people that don't fully understand all the resources you have there available. There's another course with a bunch of short snippet movie videos that'll help you with specific issues. But the main thing is, as a member for MOTT, you're not going to be told, well, I can't support you until you pay me 65 or $100 or whatever. I am there to be your technician as well. So learning the time, essential, get your timing kit, learning to do your lubrication. Well, it's fun to open it up. Um, So that's what I've invited everybody to participate in. So, um, are there any questions? We're going to start out with questions, and then I've got a bunch of technology topics that I've run into over the last couple of weeks that I thought I'd share with you. And you might learn a little bit and digest it a little bit at a time. So if you have a question, just hit unmute yourself. And I think Dawn had said she had a question. So,
I do have a question. In reading through some of the information last evening, I understand that we have to be grounded when we open our machine. I totally understand that. However, I, my machine is upstairs. I'm on a carpet. Um, I don't know how to go about grounding without an actual ground in the ground because that's
okay, easy answer. And somebody might disagree with me, but let me give you Paul's grounding lesson.
okay.
If you leave your machine plugged in with the power supply off, that third wire ground, meaning don't turn your machine on unless you need to. It
Okay.
doesn't have to be turned on.
Okay.
If you plug in your machine, the chassis is grounded. So just by touching the metal of your machine will discharge any electrical charge you have. Now, another thing I wanted to comment on. Now, these are bad boards, okay?
Okay.
Um, Let me get my magic close-up going here. Okay, so circuit cards,
Mhm.
okay? They're usually coated. This one's not super coated with stuff. Most of the time, you're not going to be handling these cards like this.
Right.
If they are in the machine, they are attached to that grounded machine. As
Okay.
long as you aren't doing this all over the card and stuff, your machine is probably not at risk
Okay.
when you're doing that. So yes, grounding's a good thing. If you have a
Okay.
grounding strap, I'll be honest, I'm lazy. I'm in a high humidity environment most of the time.
Okay.
I use a grounded machine. Now,
Okay.
I grew up in Minnesota in winter. I could get a 6-inch spark going to that door handle. No.
Yeah.
Okay. But one, don't handle the boards unless you have to.
Right.
Um, and you shouldn't have to worry about the ESD stuff.
Okay. I was just, having the background that I have and
Yeah.
installing igniters and propellant, and it's important.
Yes. You don't want to spark, let's put it that way. But remember a good ground.
Got it. Okay. And plugged in. And the ground, the house is grounded. So the cord is grounded.
Well,
And yeah, got it.
and
Cool. Awesome.
and you being a technical person know that the issue is the difference in voltage. So if you're touching the machine, even if the machine isn't grounded, that board's at the same level of the machine.
Right.
So technically it's less risky, but
Right.
they used to call
Okay.
it electrostatic discharge discipline. And
Yeah.
I worked for Honeywell for
Oh,
11 years and in aviation, and
uh-huh.
we had to go through all those certification classes. But
Yes, absolutely. So, oh
yeah,
yeah. So anyway, yeah, I just didn't want to like spark my machine. So,
good question. Good
okay.
question. Yeah, most of what we do doesn't involve swapping boards, but when it does,
Hmm.
um, electrostatic bags, they
Oh,
travel in so they don't have problems.
okay.
And so, you know,
Awesome. Great.
these are all actually bad boards, but I've been in business 8+ years. So don't worry. I like to keep the bad parts because then I can do stuff like this and
Well, yeah, you
go
can
around. Okay.
display them. Okay. Awesome. So I think that's the only question at the moment that I have.
Okay. All right. Well, I will unspotlight you. This is the problem of being your own producer as well, though. I I do want to introduce Paco, who, if I could find her, I'd make her co-host. Yeah, there we go. We'll make her a co-host too. She is a contributor to MK Quilts. Yeah, she's waving up there, but
Yeah.
she also does mentoring, one-on-one mentoring using remote tools and courses for long arming. She did a lot of the repair. She was probably my first remote New Mexico technician. Here, I'm going to spotlight her here since she's here. Add spotlight. So
I
yeah.
know follow Facebook.
Yep, you'll see her on Facebook. I sent her a Moxie XL, the economy machine,
Ooh.
so that she could know some of the little differences and support. So yeah, we have people across the country, and Paco's one of our stars over there in. All right. Any other questions out there?
I have two, please.
Who was
Can you hear
that?
Shirley? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I
Okay,
haven't
I've
found
had
your video yet, but I can hear you. Go ahead.
okay. I serviced my machine the first of the year. You was fixing to leave. I didn't know it, but anyways, I serviced it. When I opened it, um, it had black dust all over on the inside of it. Now, what causes that?
Okay, that is a belt dust. And I just was working on another Infinity, and I don't want to walk around here. I've got a bunch of belt stuff information down there, but I don't have one here. Um, it does not indicate that the belt is failing. However, um, intermittently over the years, Handi Quilter gets batches of belts in for their machines that do tend to throw some dust. And Melissa's 10-year-old Infinity, some of the older Infinities are really bad at that. You get a lot of that black powder in there. Okay. It's a mess to clean up.
Well,
But
it was hard. It was hard to grease. You put that grease in between that stuff and squish it through there to where it's clear. I'm gonna have to order some more of that one lube because I use so much of it
okay.
trying to get
So
it clean.
yeah, I think well, I know we can order them individually. You don't have to buy a whole new kit. So once you own the kit, we can get the individual stuff for you as well. Yeah, the black powder's off the belt. Clean it up as best you can. Adam, my tech facility man, he's got a lot of titles, does a lot of stuff. He is meticulous about cleaning out that oil to the point where he will actually unscrew there's metal slats holding in the bearing for the shaft. It's in your service manual, it's in the videos. I show pushing the grease through. He will actually take that thing off and scrape out the old grease before he puts in the new. I'm not that patient. It
I
gets
wish
it
he
in
was
there
here
quick.
then.
Okay. So like we say, there's the MK way and there's another way and there's another way. It doesn't mean they're wrong. Unless you're my father. It was his way or the highway. But I'm just kidding, Dad. Just kidding. Okay.
Okay, my other question, and I've got a part left. Okay, I took my cage needle bearing. I wrote this down. Cage needle bearing apart. Okay, and I got some thread out from underneath it. And when I was listening, I seen something fly, and I thought, "What the heck?" And I looked and I looked and I looked and never found nothing. I put my machine back together and was getting ready to check my timing, and there was two washers down there where my needles are. And I sent the pictures to Adam because you wasn't there. And he said I could leave them in. I mean, try to put them back in or leave them out. So I looked at your video whenever you took that cage needle bearing thing apart, and I never seen no, couldn't find no washers anywhere.
No, I don't think the cage needle bearing has any washers. Okay. What model of machine were you working on?
It's 3 years old now.
Amara?
Yes.
Okay. So the older Avantes had washers to level the feet, but if you didn't take the feet off, they don't go rolling across the floor. Um, We can go back and look at that as well. I'm trying to think where there are washers inside the machine.
Well, I sent him
Anyone?
the pictures, let me see, on the 6th
Okay,
of
well, I can pull you
January.
up in our system and they're probably going to be there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Anyone else on the call think of, you're talking small washers from inside the machine. Um, so
The
I am
only thing
looking,
this is Paco. The only thing I could think of is like the thread mast has several washers on it. Maybe.
No, because they're bigger than that.
hmm. All right. So I'm sure some people on the call are asking, what are we talking about the cage bearings? Um, it is an advanced, and I'm looking at oil change, lubes, opening, closing machine. I'm actually looking through the course right now to see if I can find that video real quick. But the the there's a couple cage bearings in the main mechanism on the top shaft, and let's just say you don't need to lube them every time, you know, at least every 40,000. But I show in the videos how to take them apart and how to get them back together and some caution. It's a little bit more of an advanced thing, but the idea when they say caged bearings, it's enclosed, and the service manual talks a lot about shoving the oil with a syringe into a little hole. And I'll just tell you right now, it's a lot easier to pull it out, pack the bearings, put it back in, as long as you know that the thread is reversed. Okay. Like I said, this stuff, a lot of it's in your service manual, and what you get out of these videos going step by step. Let me see if I can find it here. I apologize. Like I say, you can reference this all through the site. So down here, we talked about in the cage bearings, and I'm going to mute myself. Not that I don't like to hear myself talk, but this might be a little jittery there as well. But um, that is a cage bearing. And let's see if we can jump back and find, we talk about where it's at in the thing. Okay. So the cage bearing is in this section, and the video will show it much better. Let's see. Anyways, so you end up taking apart, and I think you can see my mouse here. The cage bearing is in this section here where the needle, that's working your needle bar going up and down, and in there's a couple cage bearings that need to be pressed. So, like I said, we're going to do all this together on the 8th as well. So if people are worried about doing that, if you book time with me, like an hour that you're going to work this, and let me know whether you need me or not, it's a good idea if it's your first time. And then I can get on a video with you and keep you out of trouble. Okay. All right. Anyone else have any other questions?
Oh, it's Roger. I have a couple things.
All right, Roger, are you on video? Well, but
Nick,
you do have your smiling face, so I'm gonna oh, it won't let me put you up there. Okay. Anyways, welcome, Roger.
thank you. First thing is I noticed there's a couple washers on the hopping block assembly in the Forte, one on each side of it, that kind of meet the description I just heard there. If that was pulled apart, those would fall out. The other thing is, what's the brand name of the newest tablet that you talked about a few weeks ago that Handi Quilter was shipping?
They are shipping the TJD. Thanks for the overtime, Ryan. I see you there. Thank you for joining. Hopefully you learned something. I really want more technicians to participate, and I do. For any retailer that's still listening on this call, we're not trying to be competitive. If you want to sell more of these machines, but you don't feel like you can support them, talk to us about picking up your support. You know, we'll make a deal where we'll let you sell the machine, we'll let you take the commission, but we're going to have to let your customers know who to call and deal with it there. So that's really where I see the future, is a cooperative community out there. So I hope everybody on the call has a wonderful weekend. And if you're watching the recording, especially here on YouTube, check us out at mkquilts.com. All right. See you guys.
We
Thanks,
get to
Paul.
tell MK you went over an hour.
What was that?
We get to tell MK you went over an hour too.
Oh, so my wife and I also do her Q&A a couple times a month for the premium members, and I give her crap because she always runs over an hour. This is rare, but she brought up Pro Stitcher updates. I had to do it, Paco. I had to do it. So, all right, everybody, I'm kicking you out of here. I want to go home and have a weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, Paul. Later.